I knew I was in trouble when I got to the halfway mark where I saw the clock and the time on there beat my half marathon PR at the time. Yeah, so I just knew we were going to be paying the piper and that was going to happen in short order. And it happened at mile 16. It's just everything just shut down.
Welcome to Running is Cheaper Than Therapy podcast. I am your host, Dr. Wida L. Brown. I inspire and promote movement. I explain how running adds to life from a mental wholeness aspect, how obstacles can be overcome in life to make it to your finish line. Welcome to Running is Cheaper Than Therapy, episode 26. Today, we have a special friend. I attribute him to making me a distance runner. If I had not met him and his group, I may never have run a marathon. I may never have become a running junkie, I should say. Today, I have Uche Anusionwu, who lives in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, where he is a corporate banker and real estate investor. He has been an avid runner for over 20 years. In that time, he has run several marathons, half marathons, 10Ks, and 5Ks. He was the leader of Team United Nations, or Team UN Run Club, and is now a co-leader for the Winfield Track Club in Philadelphia. In both instances, he marshaled and continues to marshal runners of all abilities to get out of bed at ungodly hours in the morning for a run, 5:30 a.m. He actually used to give wake-up calls, which helped me. I am not a morning person. If it wasn't for him, I would have missed many morning runs. Interestingly, the pandemic seems to have helped this effort as more people have picked up to running as a coping mechanism. Again, he lives in Philadelphia and is married to his beautiful wife, Audra, who is the founder and CEO of Beauty Fit Strong. Welcome, Uche.
Well, thank you for having me. This is very exciting.
So, first question, why did you initially start running?
Wow.
Over 20 years ago.
Over 20 years ago. Geez. It was actually a friend of mine, mutual friend, Tem, so I think he was training to do a half marathon and he asked me to train with him. And I was like, yeah, sure. And, we trained together and we finished it. I think it was the ING half in Philadelphia. It was sometime in September. And so, yeah, we finished it. And I remember, that sense of accomplishment, completing the distance. But I also remember the pain. And then, of course, going out on the race and seeing people from of varying ability levels successfully completing this was, kind of like motivated me. Like, yeah, if I took it a little bit more seriously, I can do much better. And then, of course, hanging out with Tammy, Tina, and, a little circle of friends, we were able to kind of like have a little friendly cohort as we trained together. And so allowed me to stick with it.
So Tim started running before you?
I wouldn't really say he did because when he say start running, like even prior to training for that half marathon, I would run like 3 miles here and there. Like I didn't really consider myself a runner per se. It was more like I worked out or played basketball because basketball was really the thing that me and him did.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, maybe every once in a while you go out and run 2-3 miles, but nothing really consistent. If anything, it was more like the running was done to help us play basketball better.
Okay.
Right.
So what made you start United Nations or Team UN?
I'll say that was more of a happy accident.
A happy accident.
A happy accident. So I did not set out to start a group per se.
Okay.
It's more so ultimately a gathering of friends who had a mutual interest of waking up early in the morning, or running in uncomfortable weather for ungodly distances and asking ourselves why and not coming up with any good answers. I think it had more to do with the camaraderie that we had amongst ourselves that we decided, okay, we can keep doing this. And another happy accident. It just turned out that the people who were in the group were from different parts of the world geographically. We didn't really plan it to be like that. I was just happy to run with whoever was willing to come out and run. And it just turns out that people didn't quite mind running with me. Yeah, and then it also helped that train for distances that we thought, at least at face value, we couldn't do.
Okay.
When you train for a marathon, is like, at least at that time, there was always a question like, would you actually survive? And like, well, let's find out.
What year would United Nations officially start?
We're in 2020 now.
We're in 2020 now. Yes.
So minus 20 years.
2000 and minus 20 years? It started that long ago? I started running with you in 2010.
Maybe 2005-ish.
Okay.
Yeah, 2005, thereabout. So when you ask the question, when did we officially start? I mean, it's really, when did I find the first misfits to run with me? Maurice Baynard. Yeah, it was me, him, Abdul, Tam, Felicia, Noel, who just kind of got together. And the way the group kind of coalesced is like, as we run on Kelly Drive most of the time. And so you come out in the morning and then you see someone who was running there fairly consistently around the same time of the morning that you were running. And I say, hey, come run with us. And they're like, yeah, sure. And that was another member.
Okay.
Yeah. Pretty organic, I would say.
Yeah, you didn't have any goals. I'm like, I'm going to start this running group. It just kind of like came together.
No, I mean, obviously having a race on the calendar kind of gives you something to strive for, right? But I think the bigger point was it was an environment or a group that encouraged its participants to be out consistently every day. The goal wasn't necessarily the race, but it's to train every day. Anyone who has gone through the drudgery of training knows, like, yeah, I mean, sure, the day you signed up for the marathon, you felt hyped. But by month 2 or month 3, it becomes tougher to get out of bed to go do that run. Really, the group was more about developing the habit of running more so than the actual goal itself. As you well know, I mean, if your training cycle goes well, then the race is almost a foregone conclusion. You should be able to complete it if you complete the cycle. So the tough part is complete the cycle.
So the name United Nations, was that your idea or did someone else come up with the name?
Oh, that was Ms. Felicia Harris. I'll try to take credit for it right now, but the problem is that she will probably hear this and then I'll never hear the end of it. So yes, it was Felicia who kind of coined the name United Nations, and kind of stuck.
I like the name because I thought me and Felicia, I think, were the only Americans initially. When I started running, it was people from UK and you from Nigeria and Tim.
Cameroon,
Tina. So it was
Vietnam.
Heather from Jamaica.
Yes. Yeah, let's not forget Heather. That these people were from different parts of the world was, I say, was a happy accident. But I think the more important point is like it was just a bunch of friends who didn't mind suffering alongside each other and have a sense of humor about it.
Yeah, just true. I remember my first official race, I guess, my first half marathon, the Odyssey. That's where I met you guys.
Yes.
You weren't running that day. You were taking pictures. And you like recruited me to join because my plan was to do a half marathon and then go back to running my 3 to 5 miles on the riverfront. But you recruited me and they didn't have a medal. They had a beer glass. So I was like, I got to at least run one more race, get a medal for my half marathon.
No, I remember that, because I don't remember why I didn't run.
Were you injured?
Yes, probably I was. According to the other members of UN, apparently I'm notorious for trying to recruit people for.
Yes, yes, you are, which is good quality to have. You are. If you didn't recruit me, I probably would have never got serious about running.
I probably would not have let you. I probably would have just keep badgering you until either a restraining order or you agreed. I mean, it's like, I mean, hey, that's how I met my wife. I think she agreed to go out on a date with me because she was like, all right, it's either I go out or I file a restraining order. So,
And how many years later? How long have you and Audrey been married now?
woo, what, 7 years now? Yeah.
7? Okay.
She's my better 90%. And I'm probably giving myself too much credits, I have to say.
So what made you start calling people in the morning? That's something unusual for team leaders to do. They just be like, "You're gonna show up, you're gonna show up."
I mean, I think part of it was just, I mean, and by the way, I don't do that anymore. I mean,
You don't do it anymore?
yeah, I don't do that anymore. No, because you meet people, they say they want to do this, but then waking up early is
Hard.
it's hard, right? Yeah, I mean, look, I've been doing it for many, many years. Even for me, it's not the easiest in the world. But I think at this point, like my body's just kind of tuned to doing it. So, but I think it was part of it was just a belief. You say you want to do this, then let's do it. And if giving a wake up call is the only hurdle, then it just seemed like a trivial point. I mean, like, not a trivial point, like a small nudge, to get you out. Because I mean, as you very well know, I mean, you're a runner. Like, there's never a time you complete a run and say you regretted doing the run, right? Regardless of how bad you feel. So if my call was the one thing to get you over the hump, then it's easy.
Okay.
Yeah.
How many marathons have you run, Uche?
I don't know.
You don't know?
I mean, somewhere near like about 9, 10 maybe.
9, 10. Okay. What's your favorite marathon and why?
Oddly, the Philly Marathon. I'll probably say like mine is a minority view amongst the runners that I train with. Okay, so why the Philly Marathon? Well, my current PR was on the Philly Marathon, and then even the way the course is laid out, it's mostly flat, but there are a few spots that have a little bit of exposure to some elevation.
Hasn't it? The course has changed though. I've only done it once. But...
Yes. The Manayunk, when you're in Manayunk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are the hills.
Yeah, it's a gradual climb, and because you're right around mile 19 or so, that's an unfortunate place to hit a hill. The road just elevates. When your legs are tired, you really feel it. But once again, like I like it because it's not all pancake flat like Chicago, for example. Your leg muscles kind of get taxed a little differently, so it kind of like varies the terrain a little bit. The guys who I train with tend to favor speed, so they like the Chicagos, the Berlin.
Berlin, yeah.
Because you can go fast, but I'm like, you're training for a time. You want your legs to be able to withstand whatever topography the course gives you. But having said, I mean, don't get me wrong. Flat is, if you're going for time, flat or a gentle downhill, is preferred. But but if I'm going to be out there pounding for 3+ hours, then at least give me some variety.
Okay, that's different.
Yeah.
See, I like hill cycling, but not so much running. Not so much.
No, I just had a flashback cycling hills.
Not so much, but it does make you a better runner to conquer those hills.
Yeah. No running regimen is complete without hill work, or at the very minimum, exposure to hills. It taxes the legs differently. It taxes your cardio differently, and it actually strengthens your legs without pounding your joints as badly. Because I mean, obviously, when you're going up a hill, you can't. The jarring force that each step generates is somewhat lessened because gravity is working against you, as opposed to like absorbing hard impacts.
Yeah, like speed work or track work.
Like exactly like speed work or track work. Getting good muscle developments run up the hills and your heart rate, cardio.
Mm-hmm. What is your most difficult marathon and what made it so hard?
Oh, yeah. We're reliving a nightmare. Steamtown.
Okay. Hills? It's hills. It's hilly too, isn't it?
No, Steamtown is a net downhill marathon and it's out by Scranton, PA.
Okay.
And fairly popular because people who are trying to qualify for Boston go out there. It's like one of the last races in the year you can do to qualify for Boston.
Okay.
And actually, the year when I did it, I was trying to qualify for Boston. I think like the first 13 miles or so. No, actually, the first almost 16 miles is just downhill.
Downhill.
And then it kind of levels off right around mile 15 or 16. But here's the thing, you have to be prepared for that. Mm-hmm. So now, to answer your question more direct, why it was bad for me. Like everything went wrong for me on that race. Like I had to maintain, I think it was like a 720 or so for the race. And, my training cycle had gone, relatively well. So I had like an 80% chance of running well. Mm-hmm. At least that was my estimation anyway. Well, morning of, for some reason, my Garmin watch did not charge. We were standing in the gym, waiting for the race to start, and I received the beep on my watch that the battery is about to die. Like, oh, not a good day. Anyway, we go to the start line. Race starts. Now, Steamtown, at least back then, I don't know how it is now, but back then there were only 2 clocks. One at the 13, the halfway point, and at the finish line.
Really?
Yes. Yes.
No mile markers, no like 10K, nothing.
I mean, well, they are there, but there are no clocks.
No clocks there, yeah.
Yeah, so you have no idea how fast it goes. So my watch died 5K in. So now I'm running by feel. And on a course I've never run on before, right? Mm-hmm. And all the blogs that talked about beware of the downhills and the quad destruction that occurs.
Yeah.
But somehow I discounted those warnings.
Mm-hmm.
And then I found out why.
Mm-hmm.
That watch dies at 5K in. And so trying to, quote, run by feel. And so remember, I'm trying to target about 720, 730, thereabouts pace. But I had no idea how fast I was running because remember, you're going downhill, you're feeling really good.
Yeah, so you were just probably taking off.
So you're just flying. And so every so often I would like talk to someone, hey, how fast are we going? So I was like, oh yeah, we're doing about 701. They're like, oh no. You would slow down a little bit more. And maybe a few minutes later, ask somebody else, like, oh yeah, for the most part, I was in the 7s, unbeknownst to me. Mm-hmm. Like between 650 and 7s. And so I knew I was in trouble when I got to the halfway mark where I saw the clock, mm-hmm. and the time on there beat my half marathon PR at the time.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, so I just knew we were going to be paying the piper and that was going to happen in short order. And it happened at mile 16. It's mm-hmm. just everything just shut down. Like, So, like I literally stopped to walk.
Because wait, your legs were hurting?
Yeah. I mean,
quads were on fire?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Because I said I've been going downhills, and all of a sudden, like the course kind of flattened out, mm-hmm. and my quads at this point had just been bashed for a better part of almost an hour 45, somewhere in there. And so my quads were just destroyed, and I slowed down first to like a very slow trot and then a walk. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, it's like mile 16. I have another 10 miles to go. And of course, everything hurts. Mm-hmm. Like this is going to be horrible. Trot a little bit, walk a little bit. So somehow in my mind, I just assumed this is going to take me at least 5 hours to complete. Mm-hmm. Right. I had no sense of time because of my watch is my watch is gone. I have no idea, how long I've been running. And then my teammates, Omar, Tori, Rasheen, of course, Rasheen was way ahead. Omar passed me. Then I think right around mile 20 or so, Tori passes me. So I mean, at this point, I'm like, this is terrible. So I would run a little bit, walk a little bit. And I remember I remember thinking to myself, wow, there were so many people who are in this race. So, by the way, this race was a fairly small race. I'll probably say there were probably maybe 1,000 people running this race. But also the whole time I'm walking slash running, people are just passing me left and right. And wow, there must have been so many people who must have joined after the fact,
Mm-hmm.
because the entire time I was, of course, there was always a crowd around me. Well, as it turned out, because I was running so fast in the beginning, I was so near the front of the course that there were that many people behind me, which of course I should not have been anywhere there anyway because I was running too fast. But anyway, so so we ran, and then when we finally got to the finish line, the biggest shock to me was that my time was like 4 hours.
Yay.
Yeah. But so I ended up running like 4:01. Tori, who was like a new runner at that time. This was, I think, yeah, this was her first marathon. And so yeah, for the next couple of months, I ate a lot of crow over how badly I strategized and went out too fast. But that's the other thing about our little group of misfits when we run. A win is a win. So when you get beaten, everyone rubs it in your face, and because I rub it in people's face quite a bit, people are not shy about dishing it back. It's all in good fun.
What was your goal for that race?
My time goal was 3 hours and 15 minutes.
Okay.
But I ended up delivering 4 hours. And then later on that year, I ran the Philly, and I ran a 3:30, which ended up being my PR.
That's impressive.
That year, Audra, because I know she's a personal trainer, she had put me on a strength training program
Mm-hmm.
and a diet regimen that helped. So it turns out that if you're disciplined about your diet and strength training regimen and the mobility and preventative work required to run better, that you run well. Who knew?
That's true. That is true. I can attest.
Many people have said that to me, although they do allege that I don't listen.
Well, you think you've been doing it for so long, you kind of know what you're doing, but we always can learn something.
Who knew?
Yeah.
Go figure. So it turns out that she, so it turns out that the author kind of knew what she was talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. Did she say I told you so or no?
Oh, of course she did. You know she did. You know she did.
Season 2, I will start a new series called Ask the Doc. If you have questions related to musculoskeletal injuries or musculoskeletal health, please send me a voicemail. Go to my website at www.weoulove.com. Click on the tab Voicemail, leave your voicemail, and select messages will be aired and answered on the segment. Now, back to the episode. Yeah. Not sure if you remember my first marathon. It was a team trip to DC for, I think it was a SunTrust marathon.
I do remember that.
Were doing the half, and me and Tina were doing the full marathon.
I believe that our words of encouragement at the start line were somewhere along the lines of, while you're on mile 18, you can take solace in knowing that me and Tema at the finish line, having drinks and laughing at your pain.
Well,
something like that.
That race was just awful because I had iliotibial friction band syndrome, and it started bothering me around 14, and I had to limp toward the end. I remember you guys getting on the bus looking for me because it took me longer than I anticipated, but I still was walking, and you guys came and met me, and we crossed the finish line together. And there was this one lady that was training for Ironman, and she was basically walking with us, and you were talking to her, kind of encouraging her, and she started crying when we crossed the finish line. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah. Actually, I do. But I was actually very proud of you on that race, mainly because the marathon is it's a funny race in that the elites who run like 2 hours and change. So these are people who are, their physical achievements are amazing.
Yes.
And then there's the vast majority of the rest of us. But then there are people who just gut it out, who like just say like, no matter what, we're going to complete this. So it's like, yeah, I was like very proud of you, like when you finish it, because I know what pain is, but I don't know what pain is for, fighting. Look, if I had an IT ban, I mean, the race is over. I mean, like, I have a medical reason to step out. It's like we don't have to keep doing this.
I stopped and I looked around. I'm like, there's no one around. I'm like, let me just keep moving. And then I calculated, okay, well, if I walk like at a 15-minute mile pace, I can finish. So I'm like, let me just try. Let me try.
No, no, but like I said, like that's one of the beauty of the marathon. Like it exposes you or forces you to confront your limits and what you're capable of. And so I admire that in people who are able to dig deep and get it done, because a lot of the crowd has gone home or left the course at a time. So
Yeah.
now it's you and yourself,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to finish and you're injured and you keep going. So it's like it reveals something is said about character when you're able to keep pushing when the odds are against you. So I was pretty proud of you that day. The Iron Man lady who bust out into tears.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't do very well with that.
I think you did a good job, Uche.
Well, I mean, just for the few minutes while she was there. But yeah, I remember that. And then you healed up and you were back out training.
Yeah, crazy me. Yeah.
Yeah, it's something's wrong with you.
Yeah, something wrong. Peer pressure.
Yeah, well, there's that.
I was gonna do my 1 half marathon and go back to. Then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do just half marathons. And then I'm like, how did I get talked into doing a marathon?
Wait, yo, I should be asking you, how is it you're doing the Ironman? Jesus.
Yeah,
I mean, like, I don't have any tattoos, but if I completed an Ironman distance, that's the one tattoo I would get.
Well, that's the one tattoo I have. So peer pressure. It's just, it's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, peer pressure. When did United Nations come to an end? What year was that?
I wouldn't say we came to an end. I mean,
well, you said it's no longer that you're now the co-leader of the Winfield Track Club. So, or is it merged or
well, yeah. So merge is probably a better,
okay.
probably a better word there. It's all the same people,
Okay.
and plus a few more, few newer faces. We're Facebook friends, so you see.
I see your pictures. Yes, I see Felicia, and I saw Heather the other day.
It never went away. It's just merged with or evolved, if you will, into Winfield. So Freddie, he's in a lot of the pictures. We ran into each other through running early morning squad, and we've been running together for quite a while now. So he kind of formed the group Winfield Track Club because I guess we both live out in Winfield area of Philadelphia.
Okay.
I mean, like I won't say that we had like a membership drive per se. It's just like I said, our little circle of friends.
Y'all just merged.
We just merged, and then all of a sudden there was a hashtag, and next thing we know, there was a T-shirt with a logo on it, and then we're Winfield Track Club.
Okay.
It's a group of friends who get together around a common cause, which is running. We're all friends, even outside of running. You remember when you were in Philadelphia? We barbecue, we picnic, hang out together.
Watch the World Cup, which I never watched soccer before then, but yeah.
Yes. You're of course a Nigeria fan. Yes, you didn't say that, but you just agreed to it. So let's just go with it. All become pretty close friends and been running together for many years now. The name of the group is almost a secondary consider whether we're Winfield or Team UN or whatever you want to call it. That's
okay.
We're still going to be running together.
We need to have a reunion, old and new, like a destination run. Noel and Tim and Tina, myself, somewhere nice. Yeah.
If Felicia was here right now, I think she's campaigned now for Chicago, sometime next year, 2021, if COVID allows us. And then the grill,
The grill, reggae,
reggae.
reggae.
She's campaigning for the marathon.
No, it's too hot. It's too hot for the marathon.
Could you please give her a call and let her know that?
Yeah, we need to do the half at the most in the grill. Marathon somewhere else.
At least as of right now, the Chicago and the grill in that order are the top candidates. That may change, but we're in a pandemic, and
That's true. And this Chicago that's hard to get into too. So
right.
yeah,
Someone said Tokyo, but
that's hard to get into too. Maybe we should all do a charity because Tokyo's on my list. Tokyo and London.
why?
Because I want to do all the majors.
I mean, can't we just go to Tokyo and just hang out and not run or laugh at the people who are running?
But I want to run. It'll be fun. You see parts you never see. I mean, running 26.2 miles, of the city.
Yeah, that's why you hire a tour guide to show you things you don't
But it's
see.
different running. It's different running.
Well, you're talking to someone who, like, on vacation, I leave my sneakers in Philadelphia just in case I get tempted.
No, you don't. You run on vacation.
No, actually I don't.
Ever?
I don't. Audra can tell you this. I mean, like, Audra is the one who actually goes out running and tries to drag me. I'm like, listen.
But it's interesting running in different countries. If you find a safe place to run, you see different sights, interesting things. Some things like will shock you. The stuff that I've seen out on a run.
I agree, but I run into those same shocking places just walking by them.
But I was in Spain and I was training for I think a 10K. So I went running through this park and I was looking around and I'm like, these women are dressed interesting. And it turns out that they were prostitutes. And I was like, okay, what kind of park? So, it's interesting. And then when I was in Baltimore once, me and one of my friends, we went running early in the morning because I was there for a conference. We were running, and these group of women, also prostitutes, asked us, like, why are you guys running? We was like, just for exercise.
Yeah, but you see, you could have run into them walking too.
Maybe I wouldn't have been up like 5 o'clock in the morning, probably just
that's walking, a good point.
Just for leisure, but maybe.
It's funny because I on vacation I tried to tell myself, okay, you're gonna sleep in now, but that never happens. Much to the chagrin of my wife. I'm so used to waking up early, so even on vacation I wake up early.
Can't go back to sleep.
Nah, I can't. At this point, Audra is like, listen, as long as you don't wake me up, like whatever you're doing, get out of the room and be quiet about it.
So Uche, what is on your bucket list running goals?
Well, I would like to qualify for Boston. Right now, that means that's 3:15 marathon goal is on the list. Stay healthy. Once I've achieved that, then of course I'll probably chase the next milestone, which would be trying to break 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
While those are nice to reach goals, I think the more important goal is to maintain the healthy habit of running. So staying healthy, continually improving, and see how good I can become as a runner. Of course, that will require, amongst other things, maybe occasionally listen to Audra. Don't tell her I said that. And doing the strength training and mobility work that's required to continually improve. So yeah, the milestones of a Boston qualifier or 3 hour, those are nice check boxes, but the more important thing is to continually train and keep it as a daily habit and improve day by day.
Okay.
Obviously, if I'm fortunate to reach my greatest might be 250. Who knows?
That's to be really impressive.
And because I can make fun of everyone else at the Winfield Track Club.
That's not nice.
Nice has nothing to do with it.
So, have you had any significant injuries? And if so, how did you recover?
Wow. How much time do we got? No, I mean, hey, we're runners, right? So I almost feel like we're either injured or in between or recovering from one or managing one.
True.
You know, how did I recover? Well, I mean, it depends on the severity of said injuries. Sometimes you have something that requires you to take 2-3 weeks off, and then you have to go now do those PT exercises that you have been ignoring for the past few months. So, like in the beginning in my career, like I would push pace, like always run hard.
Mm-hmm.
So making the rookie mistake of not giving my body adequate time to recover. And so that led to injuries. And then, setback, you take time off and then you recover and then you come back again, keep going. Now, I guess I'll say in the past 2 years, I would say my philosophy, and I don't want this to come and sound like I've done heavy research on this or whatever, but anecdotally anyway, whenever I feel pains or nicks, it becomes more of an alarm for me to like, all right, I ascribe it to some sort of muscular imbalance. And so I go back towards like do my strength training to find where the weakness is, and if I'm early enough, then I'm usually able to correct. So my philosophy being aches and pains are an indication of an imbalance somewhere, because if you are running, not running, pushing way too hard, and you're running fairly easily, then your body should be able to absorb that. And if it's not, then it's usually because something is, and it could be something that's simple, like maybe your sneakers are too old, or you haven't been doing the ab work you're supposed to have been doing, the core work you're supposed to have been doing, or you skipped leg day in the gym. And I can already hear Audra at the back of my head right now. Why are you ducking me in the gym? So I mean, like these days, at least over the past 2 years, having a more holistic approach to my physical well-being has helped my running. In addition to cross training, body weight stuff, and try to do better on my mobility, I can definitely be much better in that department.
So, what would you tell a person who is interested in running, like someone who has never run before?
Get you a pair of sneakers and go run.
That's it.
No, because I mean, a lot of people say, "Oh, I want to run," but no, I mean, like, start easy, go out
and go to a run store to get fitted first.
Yeah, go to a run store to get fitted. But the goal for a beginner is to develop the habit of running. It's about rearranging your life to allow that to occur. Once you've gone to the sneaker store and gotten yourself fitted and gotten yourself a correct pair of shoes, then it's about then being consistent. And so whatever little tricks that you can do to make sure, like let's say your goal is to run 3-4 days a week, let's say 4 days a week. How can you arrange your life to make sure that you deliver on 4 days a week? To me, I would almost argue that coming out 4 days a week is more important than even having the right sneakers. My point being, like, yeah, you could get the right pair of sneakers, but if you don't show up, then you just wasted money, right? If you run with a group, for example, find like an accountability partners. YouTube and the internet in general are replete with tips here and there that can help you improve your run experience, right? But step one is get in the habits. And so how do you get in the habit? Well, you got to make it easy. You got to get yourself an accountability partner, or maybe you join a group of people who are waiting for you to start. Those things that ensure that you show up.
That's true.
90% of success is just showing up.
That's true.
I mean, because once you're there, how fast you run, your pace, it's not important. What's important is that you show up 4 days a week. And then over time, everything else follows. But until you show up 4 days a week, I don't care what kind of sneakers you have, right?
You're funny.
Yeah. So come out to run, commit, and arrange your life to make sure that you show up consistently. Yeah.
Any other pearls to seasoned runners, new runners, any kind of runners?
Whatever it is your goal, you want to hit a PR or run faster, run longer. I wouldn't waste your time even telling you, oh yeah, you should follow this running plan or whatever. Yeah, you got to do the work. Don't wait for things to be perfectly lined up, or look for the perfect plan.
Mm-hmm.
No, get out there. The point we made earlier on. I mean, to be a good runner, you should be able to run on any topography. Whether it's downhill, flats, hilly. If you are in 3:15 marathon shape, then it almost doesn't matter what the road says.
Mm-hmm.
If you're in that shape, you become that person. So it's not even about the goal now. It's like, are you the kind of athlete that can deliver that?
Mm-hmm.
And the way you become that is by training 6 days, 7 days, whatever the program is. And when you look at someone like Eliud Kipchoge, who's like, world class marathon runner, when you look at him, he doesn't have to tell you that he's a world class marathoner, right? You just see it.
Mm-hmm.
So same thing for everybody else. I mean, if you want to become a runner, well, you have to become a runner. Don't play running. Become a runner by waking up, going out every day, and you're delivering 4 days a week or whatever your plan calls for. And once you're doing that, then you become that person. And then in terms of the little tip, like what kind of sneakers and all that, all that will come. But if you don't show up, no one's going to be there to tell you what to do.
That's true.
Right. That's my advice for people. Just show up.
So people in the Philadelphia area, how can they, if they want to run with your club, how can they find you?
Oh, so it turns out Winfield Track Club on Twitter, on Instagram, you can connect with us there. Hashtag, Winfield Track Club, all one word.
Facebook too?
Facebook as well. Yeah. Like the page. We post our meeting times on those platforms, and we meet at Lloyd Hall, which is the parking lot right behind the art museum. Everyone's welcome. Different paces, speeds, abilities. You just have to be about that early morning life.
Yeah.
Early morning life.
And any weather condition. I remember one time we ran and it was freezing cold and your glasses were fogged up. I don't know how you could say it.
Wow. I can't believe you actually remember that.
That was funny.
Yeah. We run year round. So obviously, in terms of obvious hazards, we wouldn't run. Like, if there's lightning out there, we're not going to run. Or there's sleet or ice on the.
Although I remember one time it was after a flood, and I think the water had just receded, and I was running.
Yeah.
And they had newscasts out there. I think they interviewed me or something about.
It's like, why are you doing this? What is wrong with you? Many things are wrong. We don't have enough time right now. But yeah, like I said, Instagram, Facebook, we're there, and everyone's welcome.
Well, thanks for joining me. This was special. I think if it wasn't for you, I don't know if I would have stuck with running for so long. Who knows?
No, this was very exciting. I don't think I've actually had this long form conversation about running before. So this is very nice. I greatly appreciate it.
All right, okay. It was always good to talk to you. I got to get to Philly and run with the new merge group, I should say.
Don't make us look bad, Miss Ironman triathlete.
Hey, my running has suffered since I've started Ironman, and plus, I still get injuries every now and then. Have one now.
So you must be a runner then.
Anyway.
What injury do you have?
My knee's been bothering me off and on since I had a ski injury. So.
Well, if it makes you feel better, my knee is bothering me too.
So, but I've been at least walking, so I can do that if nothing else.
Yeah, we'll always have that.
It's not as fun, but but we'll see. I need to go see somebody. I've been treating myself. It's worked a couple months, but then it comes back.
This is like this. It's like an ice skating rink near City Hall. Kind of opening up during Christmas, so they have a whole Christmas themed thing there. Audra's been trying to get me to go.
You should go
ski there. No, sorry, not ski, skate.
Yeah, you should.
Well, one, I don't know how to skate, and then two, I think she's just trying to get me to fall so she can laugh at me.
That's fun. It's fun. You know how to roller skate?
Nope.
Okay. Yeah, have you ever rollerbladed? You should try it. Over there by Boathouse Road. I used to do it when I couldn't run. You should try it. Listen to Audra. She knows what she's talking about.
Yeah, you see, right now she's already one up on my strength training and my mobility. I can't give her another. I can't give her another win like that.
It's to help you become a better all-around athlete. Think of it like that.
Yeah. That's what she says.
Yes, listen to her. Yeah.
And then she has a camera rolling.
Well, if you can't laugh at yourself,
Oh yeah, I can laugh at myself.
You just don't want her to laugh at you. Oh. Well, you can laugh together.
Yeah, but she won't fall down with me because she knows how to roller skate. She knows how to do all that.
Yeah, I'm sure you can do it, Uche.
Yeah, of course. I'm Superman.
Try it. All right, Uche. Thank you again.
All right. Well, yeah, this was fun. This was fun.
That wraps up this episode of Running is Cheaper Than Therapy podcast. Thank you for tuning in. If you already haven't, please download Running is Cheaper Than Therapy podcast on Apple, Spotify, or however you listen to your favorite podcast. If you have any questions, concerns, or possible show topics, please email runningischeaperthanTherapy, OLB, Omaha Love Brown. Again, that's runningischeaperthanTherapy, Omaha Love Brown @gmail.com. I also can be reached via Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Handle We Life, We Love. OUI Life, OUI Love. Thank you, and please tune in again.